Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here. Welcome to the IWN YouTube channel. This is your Monday Night Raw, Night of Champions 2026 Fallout review for last night's Monday Night Raw, Night of Champions Fallout episode. If y'all new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure you go check out all the other watch parties and all the other reviews I have on the channel. You know, we were live for last week's Raw, NXT, Evolve, SmackDown. We're live for AAA as well as the Night of Champions review and the NXT Great American Bash watch party. It's a pretty stacked schedule last week, so we went over everything. Before I end the stream, we got some news on Tatum Paxley to go over about her main roster status and everything. I said I was going to go over it here, so that's what we're doing. I appreciate the support that I'm getting. Keep on supporting the channel, folks. Your support goes a long way. Like I said, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and turn on notifications. And make sure you share the streams to spread the word. Let's get more audience in the live chat tonight, especially if you want to hear my thoughts on everything that went down on Monday Night Raw. All right. Let's go ahead and get started here. So I wasn't pleased with the creative decision that WWE made. I really wasn't. I was very displeased. So I'm sitting here. I was sitting here last night after 2 hours of Raw trying to figure out if Triple H and creative was working off a different script than the rest of us. Because nothing about this show made sense from a long-term booking perspective. And I'm done pretending like it did just to be nice. So we're about to get into it piece by piece. No filler, no PR, coach, no company talk, just me and y'all in the live chats. holding this show accountable together. We got to start with the elephant in the room. We got to start with Oba Femi King of the Ring celebration, because I have never seen a company fumble a new fucking star this fast. Literally. This shit doesn't even make sense. It's a complete joke. It really is. I have never seen them build a guy for 6 straight weeks, put him in a tournament, have him go over, get Jey Uso clean at Night of Champions and Radio, then give him the crown, then give him the rope, give him the title, the ruler, put the entire spotlight on him as the next guy. And the whole selling point of King of the Ring for 30 years has been you win the crown and you get a world title match at SummerSlam, and that's the prize. That's why dudes fight through the barricade or the bracket. That's why they fight through the bracket. That's why we care about King of the Ring. And then Monday night, 48 hours later, Oba Femi comes on Raw, cuts a good promo, saying he respects the crown, says he respects the lineage, and then tells Adam Pearce straight to his face, I don't want the SummerSlam title shot. Book me Brock Lesnar in Hell in a Cell. My jaw hit the floor, dude. You literally just told every single man in that tournament from round 1 to the finals that their work meant absolutely nothing. You literally just told Jey Uso his loss meant nothing. You just told every guy who got eliminated that they wasted 6 weeks of TV time fighting for a prize that the winner don't even want. I need somebody in the live chat or on the internet wrestling community on Twitter X to explain to me what the point was. Because if Oba can just decline the SummerSlam main event, then why did we do King of the Ring at all? Can somebody in the chat explain that to me? Really? Why did we waste 6 fucking weeks, man? Why did we put over if the payoff is not World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam Night 2 and Brock Lesnar in Hell in a Cell? Sounds cool on paper, but that ain't a King of the Ring story. That's the motherfucking point I'm trying to make. That is the whole point I'm trying to make. Meanwhile, you got the wrestling sources and the negative, positive internet wrestling communities and all these podcasters like JD talking about some, well, it should be Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, blah, 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 blah. No, the fuck it shouldn't. It should be Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi for night 1 and Roman versus Oba for night 2. Dumbasses. Get your facts straight. Get your facts straight before you come to me and say, oh, well, Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns makes more sense. We done seen this fucking feud way too many fucking times, man. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be a banger of a match and a good match at SummerSlam, but it should not be on the card. That's the bottom line. But my jaw literally hit the floor, man, because, wow. who got eliminated, they wasted 6 weeks of time fighting for a prize that the winner don't even want. Like, that's just insane to me. Don't get me wrong, Brock Lesnar and Hell in the Cell sounds cool on paper, but that ain't a King of the Ring story. That's a motherfucking random Brock story. You could have done any month. King of the Ring story is King versus Champion. King of the Ring story is Oba Femi 6'3" versus Roman Reigns, Tribal Chief. Hello. That's the money match. That's the new star versus established star. That's how you make Oba for 2000, whether it's 2027, 2028, or 2029. You don't get him the crown and then have him duck the title shot. You don't fumble that bag, man. WWE creative and the administration fumbled big time, and they should be ashamed of themselves. They really should be. And that's why I'm saying King of the Ring is dead. If this is the percentage, if the winner can just say, nah, I'm good, then the tournament means nothing. It don't mean jack shit. That brings me to the main event segment, because the promo between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins was B+ work. Don't get me wrong. They know how to stare at each other. They know how to talk. The history is there. I get that. The crowd was hot. All that was real. But the booking decision to close Raw by announcing Seth Rollins versus Reigns for SummerSlam is an F- with a bullet, whether it's for night 2 or night 1. I will argue with anybody in the internet wrestling community on Twitter X, the podcasters, the wrestling sources, the wrestling YouTube content creators, no matter who argues with me about this, I don't give a damn about anybody who disagrees with me, because we have been doing Seth Rollins versus Reigns since the iPhone 5 was new. We did it at WrestleMania 31 with the cash-in. Remember that? We did it every single Monday Night Raw from 2015, 2019. Remember that? Until they got tired. We did it at Royal Rumble 2022. We literally just did a triple threat match with them and Punk at WrestleMania 41. 2 months ago in Vegas. We are good. We don't need this match again. I'm sorry. We don't. I disagree with this shit. Especially not when you have a fresh, new, undefeated monster King of the Ring sitting right there. Right there. So you chose Shield nostalgia over building the future. That's basically lazy booking, dude. That's an awful creative decision. Whether people want to hear the truth or don't. I said what I said. Deal with it. That's the reason people say Raw is mid. And speaking of mid, let's go ahead and run the rest of this card, because Rey Mysterio versus Ethan Page opened the show, and it was a mid C+ opener. Rey is a legend forever. Ethan Page is solid. He's over with the grind. He's over with the grind. But this was just a match to have a match. No story, no stakes, no heat. 3 minutes after it ended, we all moved on. And that can't be your opener the night after night of champions. Then Joe Henry comes out for a concert. And look, I'm not mad at Joe Henry. Man's got a song. The crowd's singing. It's a moment. But then you go right to Joe Henry versus Austin Theory, and it's another mid-C squash. Theory eats another loss. Henry gets a quick win. But what's the story? What's this going? Who is he feuding with? It's just TV time being filtered. Io Sky comes out for her Queen of the Ring celebration. Honestly, I'm happy for Io Sky. She deserved it. She's one of the best in the world. The direction obviously is Liv versus Io Sky for the WWE World Women's Championship for SummerSlam. You crown her, then you do nothing with her on the show. That's the bad part. That's why I wanted to say, what's the direction so bad? That's why I wanted to say that. Then you got LA Knight versus Jey Uso. This was lazy, repetitive seat filler. We have seen this match 6 times this year. We've seen this match last year, too, as a matter of fact. I'm pretty sure. Knight is too good to be treading water, man. And Jimmy has been in the same bloodline fallout spot since 2023. Nothing new happened. Nothing progressed, just 10 minutes. We ain't getting back, man. Lyra Valkyria cuts a promo, and she's got presence. She's got the look. She's talented, but she's lost in the middle of a dead show. The crowd wasn't there for it because the show had no momentum. Raquel Rodriguez versus Maxine Dupree after that was a C+ squash with no heat. This was a Intercontinental Women's #1 contenders match, let me remind y'all. Maxine was trying her best. I respect the grind. Don't get me wrong, but the crowd didn't buy her. Raquel wins in 3 minutes, and we forget it. Happened before the next commercial. So the only thing that saved this show from being a full D was Chad Gable versus JD McDonough with Dominic Mysterio, who I'll be so glad when they get that title off of him and put it on El Grande Americano. Dominic Mysterio ringside. If that was a solid B banger, that match cooked from bell to bell. Chad Gable is one of the best technical wrestlers on earth. McDonough can go. Dom's heat is real. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's one of the best heels in the company, but his title reign as AA Mega Champion has been fucking flat. They need to have that title. They need to book El Grande Americano versus Dominique for the AAA Mega Championship and just have El Grande Americano beat Dominique clean to win that title. Looks like he's going to have to get through Puro Del Mals first before he can even, feud with Dominique or whatever. Yeah, Puro Del Mal, the faction that debuted with Carmen, Bronco Enigma, Daga, Angel Umberto. Yeah, that's that faction. Danhausen popping up for the distraction was random. I mean, it worked. The crowd ate it up. But it was definitely match of the night by a mile. And it gave them, I'll get them credit for that. But let me tell y'all right now, live chat, one B banger doesn't save 3 hours of bad decisions. That is why overall this Raw was a low B- because Gable and JD and the Roman Seth promo carried it. But the booking around Oba Femi and the SummerSlam direction is just creative malpractice. I'm not going to say it's an F grade, but you do not win King in the Ring and decline the title shot. You do not run a 6-week tournament just to bury the prize. You do not do Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns for the 100th time when you have a new star ready. That's why I'm saying it loud. King of the Ring tournament is dead. They fumbled Oba. They dropped the ball. I need to know if I'm tripping or if y'all in the live chat see the same thing I'm seeing. Please tell me you do. Drop your grades in the live chat right now. Drop your A to F. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if you wanted Roman versus Oba too. Tell me if you're tired of Shield matches. Because the grade book is open. We grading every segment. We grading every decision. And we holding creative accountable together. No matter what it takes. No filter, no holding back, man. This is me, IWN. This is the truth. If you didn't want Oba versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam Night 2, then don't let Oba win King of the Ring tournament. You should have never put Oba in the tournament to begin with. And I know I wasn't the only one that said this online on Twitter X. If you were dead set on Brock versus Oba at SummerSlam, then you have Brock Lesnar cost Oba the King of the Ring finals against Jey Uso. Hate to say it, but it's the truth. That's the only logical way. Would have made more sense. Hell, Jey Uso himself should have never been in the tournament either. We already know he's over with the crown. We already know he's King Jey. I don't mean he should be in the tournament. You have Brock, F5, Oba, through the barricade. You should have had Jey Uso hitting the Uso splash for the 1, 2, 3. Jey's your king. I hate to say it, but or you should have just declared that there's no winner. You should have just left the fucking tournament bracket vacant. Might as well would have brought CM Punk. Might as well would have had CM Punk come back and return to win the whole fucking thing. That's how lazy the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournaments were booked. Jey getting Roman at SummerSlam makes no sense. I'm telling you now. All you had to do was Uso splash 1, 2, 3. Jey's your king. Jey gets Roman at SummerSlam, even though it don't make sense. That probably would have happened more than likely. Now Oba has a real reason to be pissed at Brock. Now Oba versus Brock at SummerSlam makes sense. I never was going to say it don't, because it does make sense, because they just, they just had a feud recently. And the feud is still continuing. And it's going to continue all the way to SummerSlam. Now, you ain't burying the King of the Ring prize, because Jey actually wants the title shot, but nah. Instead, you have Oba win the whole tournament clean, hold the crown up, call yourself the ruler. Then 48 hours later, tell the world, nah, I'm good on that title match. I question that because you just told me and you just told the entire internet wrestling community, the WWE fans, the talent backstage, and the men and women's locker room that the King of the Ring meant nothing. The tournament was pointless. You just told me Oba Femi's creative and administration told us that Oba Femi's win meant nothing. And I'm thinking at this point, they should have had Brock cost him the finals. At least then the story would make sense, but at least then you ain't making your new king look like a clown who don't want the prize. Or a complete loser. At least then you ain't disrespecting 6 weeks of TV. But didn't do that. They had him win and then fumbled the bag. That's another reason why I say the King of the Ring is dead. And that's why I'm saying this is lazy. That's why I'm saying creative dropped the ball. Because Brock costing Oba in the finals was right there too. And they picked the dumbest option instead. Why Oba doing double duty versus Brock Lesnar for night 1 of SummerSlam, and Oba Femi versus Roman Reigns WWE World Heavyweight Championship makes more sense for SummerSlam Night 2 than Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins World Heavyweight Championship match, and why this should not be on the SummerSlam 2026 match card. Why it should be heel Kevin Owens versus babyface Sami Zayn instead of Cody Rhodes versus Sami Zayn and Jey Uso versus Sami Zayn. I'm going to explain this the best way I can. And then we'll go over the news on Tatum Paxley, and then that's going to be it for tonight. I'm done with this review. Let me cook this SummerSlam 2026 card right now because, like I said, they had a plan that made 0 sense. But I'm about to tell y'all why I think Oba Femi pulling double duty at SummerSlam is actually the best booking decision they could have made if they got any brains left in creative, of course. So listen, night 1, you gave me Oba versus Brock in a Hell in a Cell. And I don't even care that Brock just came back. I don't care that he's part-time because Oba Femi is 6'6", 310 pounds of dude monster. You need to test him against the ultimate monster to make him. Brock is the final boss of WWE in the last 10 years. So you throw the ruler in there with the Beast night 1, Hell in a Cell, no rules, no excuses. Oba either survives Brock or he beats Brock. And either way, he walks out of night 1 looking like a killer. Looking like he went to hell and came back. Then night 2, you strike while the iron is nuclear hot, and you give me Oba versus Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. King of the Ring versus Tribal Chief. New Blood versus the head of the table. And that match makes 1,000 times more sense than Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins because, listen, we have seen, like I said, when I went over the review, we've seen Roman versus Seth since the Shield breakup in 2014. We saw it at WrestleMania 31 with the cash-in. We saw it every Raw from 2015 to 2019 until we were sick. We saw it at the Royal Rumble 2022. That's when they actually had the heel Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins babyface match. One-on-one match. When Seth Rollins brought the Shield gear back, we literally just saw a triple threat with them and Punk at WrestleMania 41 2 months ago. We are good, man. Like I said, I'm going to say this is the last time I'm saying this. We do not need Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for SummerSlam. That match should not be on the card, period. It's nostalgia booking. It's creative going back to the... Well, because they're scared to pull the trigger on a new main event star. And Oba is that new main event star standing right there with the King of the Ring crown on his head. So you do Brock night 1 to make Oba look invincible, and then Roman night 2 to coronate him or to have Roman survive the biggest test of his title reign. But Seth Rollins versus Reigns is already booked. Banger of a match, but no. The point is, if I actually went with Oba versus Roman Reigns for night 2, this would coronate him or to have Roman survive the biggest test of his title reign. Either outcome is money, either outcome builds 2027, either outcome sells Peacock subscriptions, or even Roman versus Seth does none of that. Roman versus Seth is a Raw main event we've seen 20 times. It's not a SummerSlam Night 2 world title match. It's filler. It's politics. It's the same story we've been fed for a decade. And while they're fixing this card, let's fix another match too, because I'm tired of them throwing Sami Zayn into random babyface versus babyface matches that nobody asked for. Why you think they booked Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes for SmackDown? You don't think I saw the SmackDown spoilers? So either that tells me either Jey Uso is the challenger for Sami Zayn's WWE Undisputed Championship, or it's Cody Rhodes again. No, we do not want Cody Rhodes or Jey as Sami Zayn's challenger. Much rather it being a returning Kevin Owens, a heel Kevin Owens. We need Kevin Owens back ASAP. I do not want Jey Uso or Cody to be his opponent. I'd rather it's Kevin Owens. That makes more sense than Sami versus Jey and Cody versus Sami. We seen Kevin Owens on the Great American Bash. He looked in the best shape of his life. I mean, I can honestly say that. But why would you book Cody Rhodes versus Sami Zayn, two of the biggest baby faces in the company? Why would you book Jey Uso versus Sami, brothers from the Bloodline story, when the real story that prints money and the real story with 10 years of history is, again, heel Kevin Owens versus babyface Sami Zayn, not Sami. Well, yeah. Yeah, I said it right. You flip it. You turn Kevin Owens heel again. Bring him back, turn heel again, and you let him snap on Sami. You let him say, you chose the bloodline over me. You let him say, you chose Jey over me. You let him say, you left me every single time. Then you give me Kevin Owens, the prize fighter, the cold, ruthless, head-hunting heel version of KO, who's mad at the world, versus Sami Zayn, the ultimate underdog, babyface, who has the whole card in his hands. That match at SummerSlam 2026 writes itself. It's got history from NXT. They got history from 2016. It's got history from 2017. And it's even got history from the Elimination Chamber 2023. It's got real life best friends turned enemies. It's got emotion, it's got stakes, and it's fresh because we haven't seen heel Owens versus babyface Sami on a stage like SummerSlam in years. So stop giving us Cody versus Sami. Cody Rhodes should be completely away from the undisputed title picture. He should not be getting a title shot ever again. He should not be. But seriously, they really need to stop giving us Cody versus Sami, where I got to pick which good guy to cheer for. There's no heel in the match. There's no point in booking a babyface versus a babyface. A heel versus a babyface makes more sense than a babyface versus a babyface and a heel versus a heel. Stop giving me Jey versus Sami as well, where it's just bloodline leftovers. Give me the match that actually has hatred. Give me the match that actually has layers. Give me heel KO versus babyface Sami. And when you put that on the card with Oba versus Brock night 1 and Oba versus Roman Reigns night 2, now you got a SummerSlam that feels big. Am I right, live chat? I mean, you got a SummerSlam that builds new stars. Now you got a SummerSlam that ain't just Roman and Seth again and random babyface matches. So the Gradebook verdict is clear. Double duty Oba Femi makes sense because it creates a megastar in one weekend. Roman versus Seth needs to be thrown in the trash can. Like, seriously. Cody versus Sami and Jey versus Sami needs to be thrown in the trash can as well. Heel Kevin Owens versus babyface Sami Zayn needs to be signed right now. We need to be bringing Kevin Owens back, like ASAP now. before they end up giving Sami Zayn the opponent that nobody wants to see go up against Sami Zayn for the Undisputed Championship. But that match definitely needs to be signed right now because that's how you book SummerSlam 2026. That's how you save this show. That's how you make history. And if Triple H and Creative doesn't see that, then I don't know what show they're watching. I really don't. So, chat, tell me if I'm wrong. But I know I'm not. Stand up. Gradebook closed. Now, let's go over the news on Tatum Paxley's current WWE main roster call-up status and my thoughts on it. And rather, I think Tatum Paxley should move to the WWE main roster soon. Or she still needs to stay in NXT to get more time. Are y'all ready to hear about this? No, because I saved it for last. So, okay. Okay, so what I really think should happen with her, I'm going to break down what I really think should happen with her and look at the facts first, because Paxley lost the WWE Women's North American Championship to Zarya on June the 9th episode of NXT, and that was a big deal because she held that belt and she made it feel important. But she didn't waste no time. She used her rematch clause right away, and now she's set to challenge Zarya for that title again, which she ultimately lost to Zarya. Yeah, she lost to Zarya this past Sunday. The timing of that match is what got everybody talking. So according to Fightful Select, there have been discussions backstage about moving Tatum Paxley up to the main roster. Nothing has been confirmed yet, and they said it clear. There have been discussions regarding Tatum Paxley heading to the main roster, but we haven't got a confrontation yet, end quote, from Fightful. So WWE is basically talking about it. They're looking at her. They're thinking about it, and that changes how you watch this Great American Bash match. Because if Paxley loses to Zarya again back to back, then fans are absolutely going to start reading between the lines and wondering if that's WWE's way of writing her off TV in NXT to clear the path for her to debut on Raw or SmackDown. Which she did lose to Zarya, because I was live. If y'all look at my channel, you can see that I was live with my NXT Great American Bash watch party results. We went over everything and went down. Y'all can go listen to it if y'all want. It's still there. And I should have the timestamps on there. If not, I'm going to put them on there. I haven't even checked yet. I do got the timestamps on the Night of Champions review and the SmackDown NXT watch parties. Okay. I'm wondering if that's WWE's way of writing her off TV. I really do. Because we've seen that playbook before. You lose the belt, you lose the rematch, you say your goodbyes that week, next week, and then boom, you're on the main roster the following Monday or Friday. Honestly, that wouldn't even feel random with Tatum Paxley because she's been in NXT for years now. She ain't no rookie. She started out as that creepy character next to Gigi Dolan in Toxic Attraction. Then she renovated herself, found that demented, unhinged, possessed dog gimmick, and she got over with it. She's had tag runs. She's had singles runs. She's worked with Lyra. She's worked with Roxanne. Hell, she's even worked with Fallon Henley. And Kaylani. To put the cherry on top of the cake. She's been on TV every single week for a long time. She's got the character work down. She's got the look. She's got the in-ring figured out. And she's one of the few women in NXT that actually feels like a full package character that can survive on the main roster without getting lost. Because let's be real, main roster eats a lot of NXT call-ups alive if you don't have something that makes you different. And Tatum Paxley is different. You put her on Raw, she's standing next to Liv Morgan, Rhea, Io Sky, Laura Valkyria, Maxine, Raquel, or returning Stephanie. You know, she doesn't look like anybody else. That crazy energy, that psycho girlfriend vibe. You could do something with that. You could put her with the Judgment Day. Probably put her with Alexa Bliss if they can go that spooky route again. You can have her stalk somebody. You can have her be a wild card in the women's division. She don't need the belt on day one. She just needs a lane. I think she's ready for that lane right now. I really do, because let's be honest, folks. Let's be honest, live chat. What else is there for her to do in NXT? What else is there for her to do? Really? She already won the North American title in the past. She already main evented. She already did the tag thing. She already did the chase. If she beats, well, she didn't beat Zarya, obviously. But imagine if she would have won and got that title back, though. Imagine that. She would have been so happy. She really would have been. So losing to Zarya at Great American Bash ain't a burial. It's a green light. It's still clearing her schedule. The only reason you keep her in NXT after this is if you want to kill her momentum, and we've seen them do that. Too many talents. They wait 6 months, too late, the crowd cools off. Tatum is hot right now. She really is. She's trending after every match. You strike while the iron is hot. So many Gradebook verdicts. It's still yes. Tatum should move to the WWE main roster soon. She does not need more time in NXT. That Great American Bash loss was the signal she's done everything she can do there. And if Dota is smart, we see her debut SummerSlam weekend or the Raw after, because the main roster is where she belongs next after all. And if they fumble her, then that's on them. That's on the Triple H administration and creative, the writers, and whoever books the show. That is definitely on them. So, but I'm calling it now. The girl's ready. Period. Chat, is it time to call her up? Raw or SmackDown? Who is she feeling with first? Drop it in the live chat right now, or you can comment. You can respond to the review with a comment when the string gets processed. Hey, Gradebook open. Well, folks, That's going to do it for the Monday Night Raw Night of Champions 2026 Fallout review. If you enjoyed it, you can shoot me a DM on Twitter X. You can follow me on Twitter X at @thevillainIWN. You can follow and add my Facebook pages. The links to all my social media accounts are in the description. I appreciate everybody for tuning in and listening. For NXT, we got Jackson Drake versus Mason Rook. Carmen versus Jada Parker. And the Vanity Project will be defending the tag titles. So that's 3 matches for NXT. I'm trying to find out if there was anything else there. I'm trying to find out if they booked any more matches or segments for that show. Before I get on off of here, we will go over the SmackDown spoiler lineup this week. It's probably going to be either this Friday afternoon or before the stream starts, because I do want to give y'all a heads up, and I do want to put out my great predictions going into SmackDown. So let me just make sure I'm right with what I said about the lineup for NXT. I know there was a news article somewhere that had it. Let me check. Yes, right, folks. Jackson Drake on Carmen Petrovich, and Vanity Project defends those titles against Dr. Lino. So I was right. I had to make sure. Prosper. I really would be. NXT some solid, other weeks it's mid. That's a lot. Those matches to Tuesday. So let me know what y'all playing for tonight. Match going into the NXT Great American Bash Fallout. Folks, I am out of here. I'll see y'all live for the Fallout episode, for the Great American Bash Fallout episode of NXT, and enjoy the rest of y'all's afternoon. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for notifications. Keep on supporting the channel. Your thumbs up, your support helps out. You sharing the stream, spread out the word. You know, spreading the word, that's what helps out the channel as well. Helps out the algorithm, however you want to call it. Now, thank y'all so much for being here. See y'all live for NXT. Take care, everybody. Good night.